Welcome. Welcome to Intuitive Sundays with C and D. I am C. Meagan Michael. This is my awesome soul sister, Debbie Charlton. We share the exact same birthday. That was just a sign from Spirit to let us know that we are meant to work together because we've done this before. So I want to share with you our topic today, and then we'll bring Debbie in because she's right there anyway. Our topic today is how to remain calm in the midst of chaos, or how to be certain in uncertain times. And so I feel like this was a really important topic to bring up, Debbie. So I want everybody to please join me in welcoming Debbie Charlton, and I better go ahead and make this public so we can share it out. So
yeah, that's what we'll do, is we'll get it shared out into our wee groups, so that if anybody wants to come and join us, they are more than welcome.
So yes. Okay, I'm making it public now. Oops.
Okay. Notification coming up, and then we can share it out and then have a wee talk.
Exactly.
It's a fantastic subject, and it's a subject I think that a lot don't realize the importance of it. You know.
It's true. or that it's even possible. I think a lot of people don't even think it's possible to be calm in the midst of chaos, or to be certain about anything in uncertain times. And Spirit gave me that specifically, and I'm like, certain and uncertain times. But they let me know. Hi, Sharon Lamb, good to see you. They let me know it's a sure thing. They have words to talk about. You want me to share this to your page, right?
I've done it to my group page. I'm just going to share it now to my own Debbie Charlton page.
Okay, and I'm sharing it to my story. Did I already do that?
Looks Hi, Sean. Lovely to have you with us, hon. Lovely to have you with us. Let's see.
Let me share it to Kimmy's group, Rainbow Journey. Kimmy at 800 in her group this week. Congratulations, Kimmy.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's brilliant.
Yes. All right, let me just go over here. Make sure we're in the group. Oh, you're welcome, Shirley. You're welcome. Okay. Let me pin this. And I'm also going to put the welcome, everybody.
Serena.
Welcome. Hi, Jude. Hi, Serena. Hi, Prashetta. Good to see you all. Yay. With the sunflowers. Woohoo.
People.
I'm also going to get the link, and I'm going to put the link in the comments.
Hi, Mark. Lovely to see you.
Hi, Mark.
I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you.
All right. I'm going to put the link in the comments. All right. So I'm posting the StreamYard link. Join us for a few minutes and share your thoughts live. Okay. So you can share your thoughts about our topic in the comments, or you can click the link, which I've posted in the, I should put it in the description. I put it in the comments. Let me put it in the description, because otherwise it's going to move. And everybody will be like, where did it go?
Where did it go?
Okay. All right, cool. And the rest, hi, Kim McElwain. Oh, it's so good to see everybody here today.
Hello, Kim.
Hi, ladies. Okay, Jude Hegarty, this is Debbie Charlton. Debbie, this is Jude down there in the comments.
Lovely to meet you, Jude. Lovely to meet you. You get to know me by the end of it. Everybody knows me by the end of it.
Awesome. So I'm going to just start over again and just say welcome, everyone, to Intuitive Sundays with C and D and Trixie, because she's here always. And
don't forget, oh my goodness, like that.
She's like, I'm here. I'm here. Yes, I
am. Mommy, don't forget me.
Because we're on camera. Camera's on. I'm here. See? She's like, oh, I'm so cute. Am I so cute? As soon as I turn the camera on. Anyway, today we are going to talk about, other than Trixie, I love you too. Today we're going to talk about how to remain certain in uncertain times. And basically, which is the same topic as how to remain calm in the midst of chaos. Spirit gave it to me in two different ways. Actually, first I wrote how to remain calm in the midst of chaos, and they told me how to the first one, which is how to remain certain in uncertain times. And I'm like, really, Spirit? But they were assuring me that we can remain certain in who we are, and we're going to talk about that. So that's really important. So I want to start off by, again, welcoming Debbie Charlton, my soul sister. We share the same birthday, and all of our amazing friends that are here in the comments. And remind you guys, if you want to join us here on the live, I put the link in the comments as well as in the description, and you can just click right there and join us for a couple of minutes and talk live on camera. Or you can just post your information, your story, whatever you want to share about this subject in the Charltons, right? In the comments. I'm talking to the Charltons. That's Debbie's last name. Jude says, I share it out as much as I can. I just got out of Facebook jail.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Hi, Kimmy, and welcome back. Welcome back, Jude. It's nice to be out of jail.
I love it. Dear. So let's start where we start, because let me see what Spirit wants to talk about. What they want to start. All right. So I want to start us off by saying that when they said to me, Trixie, your tail, babe, thanks.
Well, let me wrap it around you.
Wow. She goes, I'm front and center. They're telling me, they made me feel that the certainty is within. The certainty is not external, because that's where maybe the chaos is, or what you perceive as chaos, because that's only a perception of what's going on anyway, right? So where your calm comes in, where your certainty comes in, is right here. Debbie often talks about the solar plexus and the sacral chakra. It's here in your core. It's within you. And when you find your truth, which may evolve, which will evolve over time. I should say may, because some people choose not to change. But if you're here watching our show, you're not one of those people. You're here, and you're evolving. You're a spiritual being, and you're going through growth. And so, your truth in every given moment is your truth. You see what I'm saying? And in the next moment, your truth might be different than it is right now, but this is right now. And this is all, our point of power is in the now. So being focused on our truth, being grounded, being sure of who we are, what we are, the spiritual beings inhabiting these physical earth suits, these physical bodies, understanding the bigger picture, being able to pan out from broader perspective and see the whole picture, but from up here is a huge different. It makes a huge impact. I'm going to ask Debbie, what are your feelings about this topic?
See, the thing is, on uncertain times, it's important we get to know ourselves.
Yes.
We get to know our truth, because if we're not in our truth, we're in a vibration of fear. We're in a vibration of judgment of others, on ourselves.
Yes.
We tend to be more outside rather than being inside. Okay, and when I talk about inside, I mean the connection within, which holds you in a place of peace, tranquility. It's like you can't stop what's going on around about you to a certain extent, because there's so much going on, but it's how we react to it. So if you're in that safe place, and that comes about by working on the self, it's looking at yourself and seeing if you fall in your own truth. And if you are following your own truth, how much of your own truth are you following? And what I mean by that is, are you actually connected to yourself, to you? That's the first thing we have to look at, is a connection through the self. The connection through the self grows love. It grows love within. It grows love for you. So you see yourself as powerful. Through the work you do in yourself, you see that, and that power comes as this beautiful embrace of love, embrace of everything that's around you. But it always starts with yourself. You have to be able to stand in your own truth. And a lot
Yes.
of us will struggle with the word no. Okay, we all struggle with the word no at one time or another. We're asked to do things. We don't want to do it, but we feel obliged to do it. We feel, oh no, we can't let them down. But what we're doing is we're letting ourselves down. If that's not sitting with us, we're letting ourselves down. We're not honouring us. So we're
That's
putting last.
what you're
And what
saying
that
is so
does is it
important.
starts, sorry, and what it does is it starts to grow a resentment within,
Hmm.
starts to grow a fear within, because you're frightened to say no. So that starts to gather. Where do you think that goes? Where do you think that energy goes? It goes on the body. It goes on the body. So the more that we
Stuck
work
energy.
on ourselves, the more that we work on ourselves and we acknowledge us and we say, no, we will put ourselves first. And that's not selfish. That isn't selfish, putting yourself first. If it's coming from your heart, that connection is coming from your heart. We are all guided, okay? We have that beautiful light within us that guides us, whatever way that you see that is. But it's the choice whether you believe it, whether you trust it, and through that, acknowledging it. And that is what keeps us calm in the midst of chaos.
I love that, Debbie. That's
Yes.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. You brought up a few minutes ago saying no and
Mm-hmm.
honoring yourself. I'm going to paraphrase. Honoring
Mm-hmm.
yourself by saying no when you mean no and yes when you mean yes. And you're
Yeah.
absolutely right about resentment coming in and all that. I feel drawn to say, without specifically talking about anything controversial, that there are things right now in our world that some of us are don't want to do and some of us do want to do and some
Yeah.
don't, probably won't do it or may whatever, and then others already did it. And you know what, if you allow somebody else to pressure you, no, I got to
Mm-hmm.
say that again, because nobody can do make no one can make you do anything you don't want to
No,
do.
no,
So if you
no,
allow yourself,
no.
I had to read spirit like, whoa, no, if you allow yourself to be pressured or to feel pressured by outside influences or peer pressure and do what you're not aligned with, that's when problems can
Yeah.
occur. It isn't
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
of the thing itself, it's because of how you feel about it.
Mhm.
So if you're totally aligned with this,
Yeah.
whatever this thing is, then do that. And if you're not
Mhm.
aligned with it, then
Mhm.
do
Mhm.
that. But don't allow anybody else's influence to push you one way or
Yeah.
the other. And then you make those choices where saying yes when you mean no, which
Yeah.
again, like Debbie said, that gets stuck in your body. That gets that, all
Mhm.
dis-ease is stuck energy, and it gets stuck within your
Mhm.
body. So this is a really important time to speak. And I was going to say speak your truth, and I want to elaborate on that too. To speak your truth, meaning say yes when you mean yes, no when you mean no.
Mhm.
I want to go one step further and just bring this up, Debbie, and then I'm going to pass it over to you again. I was listening to yeah, no, Lee Harris being interviewed by Lee Carroll,
Mhm.
two channelers. Okay, so the channelers
Right.
from the Z's,
Okay.
the channeler of Cryon. Okay, in case you guys don't know, it was great. It was a Healing Wednesday, and Lee always does the energy report, the energy update every month. I
Mhm.
love his work. I do. He's just a soul that resonates with my soul. Very sensitive,
Yeah.
very in tune. He was saying that about speaking your truth right now, that some people aren't ready to hear your truth. So to be discerning, it isn't a matter of saying what is or agreeing with what you're not aligned with, but don't presume to assert your truth onto other people who may not be ready
Absolutely.
to hear it, because
Absolutely.
what we push against, we create more of. What we resist persists. So that, I feel like that's very
Yes.
important to share that today. And
Yes.
so welcome, Lauren, Riley,
Yeah.
and Jude, and I don't know what that is. Oh, Cryon. Is it, you mean Cryon? If I'm not exactly sure. If you're talking about Cryon, it's on YouTube. It's a Healing Wednesday. And Lauren says it depends on what it is. Sometimes you can be against something at first, and it can be the best thing that has happened to you. But I know what you mean. That's totally true. You may completely change your mind,
Yeah.
but that's what, going back to what I said earlier, is your truth today may
That's
not be
growth.
your truth tomorrow. And you have to just allow
Yeah.
yourself to be who you are. What are your thoughts, Debbie?
And it's true. I mean, that's a good one, Lauren, that you say that, because sometimes we will fight against something
Hmm.
that we don't feel is right for us, but there's something that is driving us there. So that can also be a restriction within the self. So it's almost like the self fighting with the self. You think about it, you have the mind, okay? The mind will try to distort the truth. But we have the ego, do we not? So the ego will
Yeah,
come
that's
in and it
true.
will say, no, you're not good at that. You can't do that. You're not good at that. And you will keep fighting it. But there's something that's within you that will drive you. If something is meant to be for you, will drive you and it'll keep driving you. I would say that in the sense of when something is coming for me, something's right for me, I will feel it within the gut. Okay. Talk about the solar plex, the sacral. I'll feel it there. I'll feel it as a feeling of there's an energy there, and it comes across as butterflies. It comes across as maybe a nausea feeling. When I'm listening to it, if it's intense, it starts to become like a nausea feeling that I get, okay? But don't listen to it. That's what happens. It will build and build and build. That doesn't stop my mind from coming in and saying within the past, oh no, you can't do that, you can't do that. You won't be able to do that. Oh no, you're too frightened to do that. So there's a fear coming in. So there's my mind, my ego fighting with the self. Okay. So the mind's coming in. So what do I do then? What do I have to do? I have to start working with the mind. I have to bring my mind into balance. And that's coming within, taking the time to come within to work on myself so that I then move forward. Doesn't stop the fear here. But what I'm doing is I'm slowly quieting this fear down so that it's becoming less so, and the feeling that's within is becoming stronger to move me on. So yes, I agree. What will happen there is what has happened has been the right thing for me. And sometimes you find that the path you walk is a difficult path, but you will find that there's that determination within you to keep you going. So there's always that, I would say, that force within that keeps us moving forward. Okay, because that's the lesson that we're learning at that time. And without listening to what is actually happening to us, without listening and walking that path, then you wouldn't know what's coming. And it's taking the courage to walk that path, even if we're falling down. But the falling down is
Yes.
the growth. It's the growth. And without that, you wouldn't have learned. So that's the reason why. So yeah, I mean, totally, you can go a path that you don't feel is right for you, but we'll have to think to myself, where am I feeling that? This path's not right for me, but where am I feeling it? That tells you a lot about what's actually happening with you. Once you can really connect, and it's all to do with connection. It's all to do with your connection within,
Well
you
said,
know.
Debbie. I want to bring Lauren's comment because I
Yeah.
have some feelings about this. Lauren says
Mhm.
sometimes people need to be influenced to move forward, but I get it. So okay, so this goes back to what we were talking about earlier about when to speak our truth, but it also brings me to Abraham's work because Abraham talks about this a lot. I know you're familiar with Abraham too, Lauren, and and it goes with what Debbie was just talking about too, that we're all going through our own experience. And if we don't fall down, how do we know to get back up again? We haven't learned anything. So while you may, your perception of someone else's life may not be their perception of their life, and your perception and your thoughts, because it isn't spirit telling you to change somebody. So your human thoughts thinking this person needs to change because they'd be better off, that's actually holding you back. Because when you see somebody else out of alignment, you're out of alignment. That's why you're seeing that. And I don't know if I hope I said that well. Abraham says it makes so much sense. But I think it's really important. I know it is. Again, that has to do with when to speak our truth, but he said maybe need is a strong word. Well, she says, I'm sorry. And that's positive, that's positive. I understand. I mean, I'm as human as the next person. And I have these feelings sometimes, people that I care about, that I just would love for them to understand something or perceive it the way that I perceive something, because it brings me so much love or so much joy or whatever. And it makes, and to me, it makes so much sense. But I'm not here to create their reality, and you're not there to create somebody else's either. That's my thoughts on it. What about you? What are you thinking, Debbie? Or feeling?
Well,
or
I think at the
intuiting?
same time, the way that I look at it, sometimes, yeah, we are in a position because that person can be held with fear. So that fear is stopping them moving forward. So it can also be the fact that someone coming along and walking that part of that path with them that helps them to have the courage to move forward. Because depending on what they've actually experienced in their life, they can be held in a place of fear. So, yeah. And they can be feeling these feelings, I need to move forward, but they don't have the courage to move forward, because that might be at the time that they're falling. And it's when someone comes along and takes the time to sit with that person and to help them to move forward. It's not that you're changing the person, you're just being there for them at that time that they need it.
Holding space for them, right?
When I lived with my father, both passed away. It's a lost cause. Yeah, and that's the thing is, Lauren, sometimes, it's hard to let go. It's so hard to let go, and especially when it's family members, But sometimes it's just being there at that time to help them through the stage in their life that they're at, as long as it's not taken away that from you, that that you're the one that's suffering through it. There's different ways that we can look at that, but I just find there's certain times where someone is really stuck on their path, but all they need is someone to be of that support, to hold that space for them, just to be there to listen to them. That then helps them to get up and start walking forward again.
I love that.
This is we all together as a community, as a partnership within us. We all come here at this time in our life to do the work that needs to be done. And that's not just on the spiritual sense of the word. I mean, in with our family, with our friends. There's work that needs to be done. It's like when I think about the time that I took out from my spiritual work and spent that time with my children, raising my children. That's important. So nothing is ever not important. Every single thing we do in life is important, because we're either helping to influence someone else, but we have to look at ourselves as we are influencing. So important to look at ourselves, where we are at that time, and what are you projecting onto them, just as others can be projecting onto you.
We lead by example. I have to jump in, and I love what you're saying. And we lead by example. So let's say that I'm shining my light and I'm being myself, but then I see somebody that I perceive as out of alignment. So I want to try to help them. So I'm going to try to push or manipulate or gently. And I'm not saying this is about you, Lauren, at all. I'm just sharing what I'm feeling about the subject, because there's a lot of people feeling the same way about the same things. And so okay, so if I'm holding space for someone, then I'm appreciating them regardless of what they believe or what they're doing in their life. I'm loving them unconditionally, even if I don't agree with some of the things they're doing, or even things that they believe. But if I'm pushing against and I want them to be different, and I think I'm doing them a favor by judging them, see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because you're really judging them. Let me take your comment down so it doesn't look like I'm talking to you. But if you're pushing against and you're trying to change someone, even if you feel it's for their greatest and highest good, you're doing them and yourself a disservice, because you're actually doing it in judgment. And when you judge other people, the truth is you're really judging yourself, and then you're mirroring that and projecting that outward, to others. And that's going to be mirrored back to you. And people aren't going to appreciate that. Some people, and this is what I wanted, I pulled up Kim's comment. What if you know something is your soul path feels so deeply, but some aren't ready to hear. So sometimes you hold yourself back, but feel you have so much wisdom inside. You want to talk about this, Debbie?
So what is that? It's that's doing what's holding you back, Kim. It's the fear. It's your fear of hearing your voice, of using your voice, of speaking your truth. And that fear is what others think about you. But when we can let go of what others think about as we walk forward in our path without thought, because we are in tune with who we are at that time. And this is what I mean by we'll all go through stages in our life, and I'm sure everyone, a single one of us, have gone through stages in our life where we have held back because for fear of maybe what others think about us, because we're seen as being different. But we're not different, we're in tune with who we are, as they are in tune with who they are at that time. So it's when we start to work on
She said that
ourselves and
timing. Spirit gave me timing at the same word that a second before you said time. I'm like, what? I was making a note for myself. Oh my gosh. Sorry to interrupt. I just had to show you that I got all kinds of chills.
right, that's amazing, you know. But there you go, there's the timing, you know, when the timing's right, you move forward. And that's when you start to really understand you. And understanding you, you move forward because you're not frightened of your voice. We have such what would you say? We have such a fear of our own voice, of
Yes.
being heard. And it's through we feel that we're bombarded with this judgment, but if we can step out of that judgment and walk forward and say, I don't care. And it's not that you don't care, but you don't care others' opinion of you because you're speaking to a wider audience. We're walking small. We're walking small if we don't connect to who we are.
Yes.
We're here at this beautiful time to be able to say, here I am, here I am, here you are. Do you know what I mean? How blessed is that? Because what happens, see, as soon as you open your mouth and you're speaking your truth, others will feel that vibration.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that will
Yes.
help them in turn find their vibration. They will then see, I can be powerful too. I can be powerful in myself. I can use my voice to make a difference. Some people can make a difference in their voice through singing. Okay. Some people can make a difference through their acting and can inspire people. Some people can come and tell a story and inspire people, touch people. Some people can come and do a piece of art. It touches. When you connect to who you are and find the essence, that essence
Some people
can
create
then
high vibrational live
inspire
streams.
others. Absolutely. Lovely, well, lovely sister there.
And it's true. We're all called to do different things. I want to share some. I love everything you said, Debbie, and that's such a great question, Kim. And I also want when I wrote down timing, spirit. Well, actually, that was I don't know what that was. Just totally about a synchronicity with Debbie there. What they're showing me also is that. Well, it's also okay. No, they're bringing in through that it's timing for the people, and that you speak your truth that you're drawn to share, not because you think somebody needs to hear it, but that you're drawn to share.
No.
And then the people that have ears to hear it, you know what I'm saying? Have ears to hear it. They're ready to hear it. So I call that having ears to hear it. They will receive it. And those who don't aren't going to hear you anyway. And that even answers the other topic too. That's what Spirit's bringing through right now. The people, if someone's vibration is over here, yours is over here, it's not better or worse. It's just different. You're on two different stations.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not going to even hear what you're saying. If you're on those who are on the same frequency, they're going to connect. Even if they're close, they're going to hear what you're saying. And those are the people that are your people. And as you evolve, your people might evolve too. But if you have a message, and I know you do, and you've been sharing very well, actually, I must say, because I've known you for a long time, and I read what you write now. I'm like, wow, light years from a few years ago. And I love that you're doing that, and you're just, keep doing it. Keep doing your thing, and don't worry about who's listening. The people that are meant to listen and that are drawn to listen, they're going to hear. And it may be now, it may be later. If you're putting something public, for example, even if it's something you typed or wrote, or whether it's live, it doesn't matter, or something that you shared with someone that you're teaching privately, but then they share it with somebody else, and then they told two friends, and so you know what I mean. It's so.
Definitely, absolutely, definitely. And that's the thing, and what we've got to remember as well is sometimes, it's like when you come into contact with someone in the vibration, that vibration can be so different from yours that can actually put you into a space, a place of fear in that sense, because you can feel this, you're so in tune that you feel this vibration and it's so different to you. But when you don't understand about the vibration, you can see how that can impact you, how you can have the state of fear of using your voice. I bring something up Mark had said there. He talked, Mark, you say, I came into this world with the throat chakra blocked as I was afraid to speak my truth when younger. But now I am, what is it, learning and healing. Yeah, it is so much so there, Mark, because, you have this divine guidance within, okay? And we hear the divine guidance, whether we hear it physically, whether it's a feeling, we're guided with that, okay? And that is so strong within us that we want to speak the truth. But the truth feels so powerful for us that the outside influence, people's not going to get this truth. So therefore, we become silent. We keep it blocked in. We'll just stay low. We'll not make ourselves be heard. Because once we start coming forward, we have to accept that it's not all going to be love and lightness. We have a lot that we have to work to overcome, to help to educate people in the sense of it isn't just this black and white image of what a lot of people perceive life to be. Because that's where they are on their path, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we can't hold ourselves back because of that.
Right.
Because there's so many other people that are ready to hear their truth, and you speaking yours helps them to speak their truth because they feel that encouragement. It's like when
True.
someone gives you encouragement, you feel that within, you feel that spark within. When someone gives you the answer which you're seeking, and if that answer's right, you'll feel it. It's not because someone said. It's like I always say to my students, don't take it just because I say it. Feel it. You have to feel it within. How is this truth sitting? Meagan tells me something, and I won't just agree with Meagan because Meagan's a very good friend of mine, my soul sister. If it feels right, yes, I'll agree with Meagan, but I'll say to Meagan, well, I don't know, but this is how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what your feeling is. So what we are doing there is we're honouring each other. We're not judging each other.
Yes.
We're honouring each other. We're listening to each other's truths, but letting our own truth settle. And how does it feel? So Meagan, how does that feel for you? What do you feel when you speak that? What is happening to
Oh, I
you?
thought she's asking me now. I'm like, what?
But that's it, and that's the
So
thing.
true.
So it's coming together as a community and allowing ourselves to shine. For too long, we've stood behind the door of who we are. And now what's happening is we've opened the door and we're walking through it. And we're allowing ourselves to be truly in the essence of who we are. Because when someone speaks the truth, you feel it. You don't just feel it, you see it. Uh-huh.
Now, Jude's saying,
You
gotta speak your truth. Then she says, some people can't handle their truths. What do you ladies say to that? And wait, hang on, there's more though. She said, and these people will lash out. So,
absolutely, Jude.
but I want
Absolutely. Yeah.
to address this because I feel resistance. I feel in your statement. Oh, and you're welcome, Mark, saying thank you, Debbie. Let me
You're
just pull that
welcome.
up real
You're
fast.
welcome.
I'm feeling resistance in your statement. And, if you're being yourself, okay, wait, I see. Okay, so if you're being yourself and people aren't accepting you as your authentic self, living your truth, not even speaking your truth, to them necessarily, because you're speaking your truth to them. If they're totally out of alignment with it, they're not going to hear you anyway. And it could feel like sandpaper. Abraham even says, if somebody's really like high up on the vibrational scale, feeling really good, and somebody's really low, they're going to feel like, I don't know if they use the word sandpaper, but I do, like sandpaper to these people down here. A really happy, joyful person is going to feel really abrasive to this person. They're not going to get them at all. And this person might feel so happy, they want to make this person happy. They're like, let me see if I can dip down there and bring you up with me. But you can't. You can't. No. You can't. They need to go through their process and get up the vibrational scale themselves, and you can hold space for them, but you can't try to drag them up, and you just being all happy in their face doesn't necessarily help them. I have learned that throughout the course of my life. Yeah. But I think it's very important. Jessica says, shine bright like a diamond. Kimmy says, accept without judgment. And as far as I would definitely, well, I feel like sometimes people want to hold you back from being your best self because they're used to you being where you were. And you're not obligated to be who you were, Jude. You be who you are. And you stand in your truth now. You live your truth now. And you don't have to prove to anybody that your truth is your truth. And you don't have to prove to anybody that your truth is right. I think I just spit on the camera. You don't have to prove to anybody that your truth is right. Your truth is right for you in this now moment. And that's all that matters. And if you find these people that are, even if they're family or friends for years or whatever, if there's people that are trying to hold you back because they're down here and they don't want you to be up here because it makes them feel uncomfortable about their life and themselves. Well, you can't change them, but don't let them drag you down. No, I have to rephrase that again. Don't let yourself be dragged down. If you focus down there, you're going to be down the emotional scale. And if you focus on, well, they get so upset, blah, 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 well, then you're getting upset. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just what do you say about that, Debbie? It's an important topic.
Bonnie said it in a nutshell. What other people think of you is none of your business. And it's one of my favorite sayings.
Me too.
It is none of your business. And see, when you can really say that and mean that, you will feel the power behind that. Because other people tie you down with their opinions. Think about it that way. Other people will tie you down with their opinions. But it's none of your business. Let it go. I honestly can say I don't give a damn what people think about me. You'll either like me or you won't. But most people love me. But that's the thing. I don't care. I've lived my life in my early years worrying about what people thought of me. See, now I couldn't give a stuff. You'll either take as it is or forget it. And that's my power. I believe in myself. I believe I'm a good person. I believe that I care about people.
Yes.
But I don't care what other people think about me. It's none of my business. That's their journey. What they think about me is their journey. It's not my journey.
I have to share something else because it's popping up. And so I just have to share this. Okay. So like sometimes someone has, going back to like, we're not our past. Some of us have drugs in our past. Some of us have other things in our past that we're not, that's not who we are today, but that's who we were then. And there are people that were in our lives then that maybe they're in our lives today, or maybe they re-enter your life today and they talk to you like you're that old person that you were 20 years ago or 30, whatever, you know, and you have to remember your truth. You have to remember who you are. And that's, I found that. I personally found that. I had that exact experience myself with someone very close to me, where we had been apart for many years, and this person started talking to me like, I'm like, who is he talking to? Because who are you talking to that way? Because nobody talks to me that way. And it only took like a half a conversation to turn that around, not because I dove down and addressed it and said, hey, don't you talk to me that way. I'm not that person. I didn't say that at all. I literally paused. I took a deep breath. And I just continued to be myself. And I was feeling really good. And I just continued to be myself, feeling really good. And I didn't address any low vibrational issues. And honestly, that whole relationship has just come up to me. We're meeting up here now when we talk. And for the most part, it's not perfect. But I'm just saying, it's a whole, I'm never spoken to like the person that I was 20, 30 years ago. because I'm not that person. And if you stand in the person that you are now, people will treat you as that person. Do you see what am I making any sense, Debbie?
Absolutely.
I hope I am.
100%, 100%. And that's where the power is, you know. What's this? What is mermaid?
I missed the first comment.
Marinade.
I think it's a food, isn't it? Sharon said
Marinade.
it's a food, isn't it, in the UK? Because it's not here in the US, but I've heard of it. Marmite?
Yeah, sure. Marmite. Oh, it's something you put on bed.
Okay. So Sharon saying that
You
love
like
it,
it,
so
you
don't.
Marmite, yeah, you put it on toast, and they always say the saying, you'll either love it or you hate it.
That's good
Exactly,
advertising. You're gonna love it or you
You're
hate it.
with
Oh,
me
let
in
me
that
find out.
one,
I'll buy
hen.
a car, right?
It's brown.
I love what you're saying, Lauren. You're right.
Oh,
Everybody does. Everybody has one. And we have to. Honestly, most of the healers, all the healers that I know have been through some stuff in their life, for lack of a, that is the nicer word, have been through this. I've chosen to go through a lot of stuff. I know I chose a highly contrasting life prior to 50. After 50, I only had cancer. That was nothing. Stage 4 cancer was nothing next to the first 50 years of my life. Whoa, that was like, oh, I got this. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes us so strong, is all the contrast that we've overcome. And so we're definitely not our past. And yes, everybody does have one. And I feel like the more we talk to
evolve.
Yeah, go ahead.
We evolve through that. We evolve through our past. We learn through our past, or we don't, and we go back and revisit the past. You know, it depends where you are on your journey at that time and how much you've changed, how much you've evolved within it, you know. Very much so.
Bev is saying I'm like Marmite. I think I am too, but aren't we all?
That's
Aren't
me
we all?
and Bev, no hen. Either love me or hate me, but most love me.
I hope nobody hates me, but I'm sure that's not possible. You know what I'm saying? Because
how could you love? How could you not love?
How could you not love me? Hey, Mystical.
Hi, Mystical.
Thank you.
Mystical Gypsy, I love that. Thank you for sharing it, hen.
And you know what's really important? I'm telling you. I mean, we're all Marmite. You know, nobody's going to be loved by everybody. And I remember, oh, it's so funny that Spirit reminded me of this just this morning. What a crazy thing. They reminded me this morning that I cared, when I was younger, when I was a teenager or in my 20s, I cared. I wanted everybody to like me. And I couldn't even, and it bothered me if somebody didn't, especially like guys or whatever. I don't know. I wanted to be liked and thought of as pretty or popular. Who the shit cares about that stuff? But I did. I was really shallow at the time. My mom, God bless her, she was a little shallow, and I was raised to think that stuff was really important. You know? So is a yeast spread that's delicious. It doesn't sound very good. Yeast infection spread on food. Is that like marmalade here in the States? I don't think so. I think marmalade is pretty is sweet, right? I don't know what Marmite tastes like, but marmalade
is orange.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's okay. Yeah. Well, that's not everybody likes orange marmalade. That's so
no
funny.
marmalades.
Sharon's like, I don't like it. There you go. I love it. Being pretty is fun as long as you're doing it for you. I agree with you. I agree with you. And that, honestly, I have a whole different perspective on pretty from myself now. I don't judge any. I mean, I hope I'm not. I don't intentionally judge anybody else. I think we all do as part of the human nature, but I let that go as soon as I recognize I'm doing it. But for myself, my God, for years, I wanted to have a boob job. I wanted to have a reduction. I wanted to have this. I wanted to have all these things outside of myself, all these external things that I wanted because I didn't feel good about me. So I thought fixing something out here would make me feel better in here. And it would not have, not where I was.
No, it's
And now
absolutely.
that I feel good in here, I don't need to fix anything out here. I feel good. You know, do I
Yeah.
put some mascara and
And
lipstick on
that's
to come on camera? I do, because I like the way I look with it on camera, and I think I just think it works for me, and it makes me happy. But if I feel like not, because you'll see me in most of my photos on Facebook, I don't wear makeup most of the time, you know, and I'm just totally comfortable with myself. And that took like 56 years of living and growing, and so that's what I got to say about that. And Lauren says she likes being pretty and twirling other people's hair. I think mine's already twirled. Mine's already there.
You can twirl away.
Twirl away.
Oh, here we go. Let's see. Hold on, Hen. Question about young. Oh, other world can help us when you ask for help, but why not all the time for self-ourselves? Cancer, you ask help for healing help. Cancer, don't go away. What is the reason? See, I think, what do you think of that, Meagan? Do you want to answer that?
Well, all right. Hang on.
I'm thinking about from your sense.
I am too, but I also want to get clarity on the question. Okay, I knew I wasn't, even though I was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma, I knew I wasn't going to die. I knew it, and I didn't focus. See, I spent a lot of time teaching myself. And listening to things I didn't even know about. Like, I couldn't afford an energy healer at the time. So I thought, well, what do they do? And I looked it up and I researched and I found binaural beats. I found all these free resources on YouTube. And I feel like there's some people that are meant to transition. Some people choose an exit point. We all do. This wasn't my time to go. 2017, it wasn't my time to croak. It wasn't my time to go. Some other people, let me share one more thing, and Debbie will confirm this and talk about it in detail if she wants to, that she goes, I hope you understand what I mean. I'm sorry for the English. Oh, no, you're doing great. Not all the time. No, some people are healed, like me. I was totally healed. I'm totally healed. It doesn't show in my blood at all. And I had blood cancer. Okay, and my blood test just last week came back perfect. So you can heal. Some people can totally heal, and other people, I see what it is. We have a lesson to learn. I recognize that it was in my solar plexus. It was in my spleen. It looked like I was carrying an alien baby. And I'm like, well, what does the spleen have to do with not speaking my truth? Okay. And not living my own life and not being authentic. And the things that I recognize as that were stuck for me, I said, I am ready. I am ready to heal. I am ready to address anything that's keeping this there. And so I went through a lot of self-work by myself. I was really alone at the time. I had only just met my closest friend here, and I didn't know Debbie or any of the other healers yet. I really was alone and with spirit, and I was just getting to know them from that perspective. So some people, even children, they choose an exit time, and it's their time to go. And they do that as a contractual agreement with the other souls, that the other ones that are left, that are behind, that still stay here on earth, are going to learn about love and from grief and compassion, because the soul leaves first. But then other ones are going to be healed, and they're going to learn from that perspective. And I personally believe that unless it's your absolute time to go, that if you do the work and you release the stuff that's holding the energy there, that you can heal. But everybody has to heal themselves. You can send all the energy you want. If that person's not ready to heal, they're not going to heal, because you're your own healer, right, Debbie? I'll give that to you.
Yeah, and I'll take it from there, because that's really an interesting point. A healer is someone that holds space. A healer is not the person who heals you. You yourself are your healer. Always remember that. I stand as that channel for the healing, okay? That healing connects to me from God, whatever you want to call it, to my spirit, to your spirit. It ignites the spirit within you. You might not be ready to release that pain, okay? You may not be ready to release that pain. So in a sense, we're standing, holding space, okay? But as Meagan says there, and it's a very valid point, like I think about my father, and my father passed with cancer. I worked with my dad every day, whether I was doing it distantly or whether I was doing it, I went home every weekend and worked with my father. I knew my father was going to pass, although we were told he had the all clear. I knew it because I could feel it, spirit to spirit.
Right.
That was my father's time. Okay, that was his time. But he was learning me, even although he knew what was going to be happening. He was teaching me up into the hour, in a sense, of his death. So everything has its place. Everything has its place, whether you're overcoming an emotional trauma. Like Meagan, she had cancer. I was diagnosed just after my youngest child was born. Within the first year, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I was told I was going to be in a wheelchair. I knew, and I lost a baby before, in between both my children.
Oh, wow.
That pain, I believe, was what caused that condition on my body. But through me working, and that's when Reiki came, when I was introduced to Reiki, started that Reiki journey. So, in a sense, I dealt with the pain. I allowed that emotion to come forward, to be healed of losing that child. But what it did is it taught me about me. It taught me through using my voice how I could heal myself. Through acknowledging the pain, I could heal myself. We are all guided, but we have the free will. We have to remember we have the free will, whether we want to listen or not. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it is. That's what
It's
it
true.
is. And I made the choice, no, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight this. I'm letting go. I'm letting go of this pain because I know my child will always be with me. For I feel him. But I let go of that. So in a sense, that is why there's different ways that we can look at it. Do we have the courage to face the pain, to let ourselves heal? Our bodies are amazing and what they can do. But it's also when the time has come that it's time to transition on. We all will come at that stage. You know, we will all come at that stage when we are ready to let go. And that is when the body can't house the spirit anymore. And it moves on. It moves on to the next stage in its journey. You know?
I love
So I
that.
hope that helps.
Yes. She's saying, thank you. I understand. Your soul makes a cause. When my soul want to be a
Yeah.
better, healing can help directly. Absolutely. And I, well, Debbie does trance healing. Debbie actually teaches trance healing. I mean,
I work with Nissy and myself. A very, very special friend.
so I think it's important. I think as a lot of us, I mean, I've taken, are you okay, Debbie? Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
A lot of it, I mean,
Just come.
choice. Sorry. Oh, that's all right. Oh, a choice. I see. Your soul makes a choice. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
and Jude says she's got Reiki. I took a course on Reiki too. Only Reiki 1 right now, but I also feel like we don't. I don't know. It doesn't matter what I feel about that. I think it's amazing. Reiki is amazing. I agree with you. I think healing in all forms, and I feel like we're all able to do it, and some of us are called to do it. And I feel like you are. I'm not sure how to pronounce your beautiful name. Is it
Nissy,
Nasi?
yeah, Nissy,
Okay.
yeah.
Nasia. That's really lovely. And I do feel that as a healer, my personal feeling is that you practice and just keep doing it, and not everybody's going to live. But I do feel like, I mean, if you're feeling called to do that kind of work, where you're working with like cancer people, I don't want to call them cancer patients. That actually labels somebody. You know that, Debbie? You calling somebody a cancer patient, then where did their soul go? Where did their humanity go? Now they're just a cancer patient. Ooh, I don't like that. I will never use that word again. Oh my God. That's like all of a sudden you got a label and that's all you are. You know? No. But if you're called to work with people that are diagnosed with a serious illness and bring them comfort and relief, I think that's the most important thing, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and as I say, it's a journey. Everything is a journey for us, you know. And when you work on it, it does help.
Really? They use Reiki in the oncology in Vermont? That's awesome.
Yeah, I actually did Reiki, and that I volunteered in some of our hospitals here in Northern Ireland, and I did voluntary work with Reiki a few years back now.
I love that. The world is evolving. The world is definitely evolving. Even my very allopathic medical insurance now, like I don't take any of the tests, but whatever, because I don't feel drawn. But at least they're actually giving you bonuses and stuff like that if you do some kind of proactive care for on yourself. Even though I don't see it the way they see it, I still see that as a step in the right direction. You know?
Yeah.
They're like, get more tests, spend more, you know, whatever. But you know, just saying. And then, you know what? And before, Abuelita had said that she goes to the cancer doctor, the oncologist, every 6 months. And that's fine. That's, you know, if that makes you feel good inside, and that for me, I had to let go of the whole thing. I said I don't want anything else after the 6 months of treatment. I didn't even want the 6 months. If I would have listened to myself, I would have stopped probably at 3. I was like, this is bad. And 4 was really bad. So I really didn't want 5 and 6. But after that, when I'd let them, I mean, I believed that they believed what they were saying, and I didn't know any better, and I didn't know anybody that did healing at the time. And I thought, well, I guess I'm going to do this because then I'll be totally cured. You know, and then he said, and then we could put you on maintenance. I said, oh, no, you will not. No, thank you, though. But no. So you will not put me on maintenance chemo, maintenance poison. You want me to keep taking poison to maintain my good health? I do not think so. I do not think so. You know, and recently I had a scare. I thought it came back, and it did not, but I thought it did. And I asked myself again, would I stand by what I said, that I wouldn't have chemo again? And I did. I would. Had I had my test come out differently, it came out totally normal. My blood is awesome. But if it didn't, I would not have had chemo. I would have done it naturally or whatever. But that's me. I'm not, what's right for me is not may not be right for you. And so always remember that, because it goes back to the beginning of our show. And we're going to end in a few minutes too. Today's flown by. We need to speak and live our own truth. Live your own truth. Don't try to tell other people what their truth should be, because you're not standing in their shoes. You're not living their life. You didn't contract to be them. You contracted to be. You're here to be you and live your experience. So, what do you want to say to close up for today, Debbie?
No, it's true, and I think that's the one thing we have to all, you know, take on board, is to respect each other's truths. We might not agree with the truth of another, but to stand and smile and respect goes a long, long way. What was that? I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Deb is due to sing.
Lovely meeting you, Jude. Hope to see you again, darling.
And also, let me go. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I also wanted to say nature and water as the two things that Spirit wanted me to throw out there for you guys in this now reality and the calm in the midst of chaos. If you need grounding, spend time in water, whether you're showering. Spirit's brought this to me multiple times over the last few days, making sure that I talk about it today. Water, water, water. Drink the water, like Debbie always says. Take a shower, swim in a pool, go to a lake, go outside, hug a tree, stick your hands in the dirt, do some gardening. Just spend time with the fresh air, in the sunshine or the rain or whatever it is. Just spend time outside of your dwelling and spend time cleansing with water. And, you know, and also meditation is really key. Those are some tips that I want to leave you with. What have you got for them, Debbie? Anything? Of course you do.
Yeah, just I would say there's two things that I always think. If you need emotional release, go to the water. If you need grounding, go to the forest. Go into your garden, get your feet on the ground, that will ground you. Feel the grass, sit down and feel the grass, feel that connection. If you need emotional release, just go to the water. And like I say, it could be just the same. It's just a shower. It's to feel that water, feel that release moving through you. Yeah, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. It has been an absolute pleasure working with all you and just coming and sitting with this beautiful soul family. So I'll pass that back to Megan if you've anything you want to say. Thank you, and I'll see you soon, darling.
Thank you. And thank you. And I totally agree with the cats and the dogs. And I just want to
Yeah,
say thank you very
definitely.
much to my soul sister, Debbie. You
Absolutely.
are awesome. And I want to say thank you
Thank you.
all for being here and joining us today for this very important topic. And Kim McElwain says, Mother Earth, #1 healer. You got that right.
Oh, definitely, Cam. Definitely.
So we love you all. And we will see you next Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9:30 p.m. UK time for another
Yeah.
show of Intuitive Sundays with C&D. And we love you so much. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye now.